we talking about again?
Is it okay to have relationships with your ex? Is it okay for my partner to talk to their ex?
Is it okay? We're going to find out right now. This podcast may very well not end up airing. Just kidding. Here we go. All right.
Why would you say that?
All right, here we go.
Ow.
In 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Great Purview. This is our podcast. This is my beautiful wife who just decided that she was going to show out for y'all today because she is looking stunning.
Thanks.
You're welcome. This is my beautiful wife. What's your name?
Morgan Rogers.
I'm Anthony Rogers, and it's our podcast, Great Purview. For those who are new, we thank you. We also want to shout out our viewer or listener in France. We see you.
Je t'aime, mi amor.
What?
I mixed French and Spanish.
We just lost our viewer. We see you. Thank you. And we also just want to thank everyone who's listening, wherever you're listening from, and watching from. We greatly support it. We read your comments. We like your comments. We talk about your comments and all that other stuff. And so keep them coming. We thank you. But for those who are just showing up to the Great Purview podcast,
We can call it. We can rename it.
I mean, I'm just gonna have to say it from now on, the Great Purview. But anyone who's showing up to Great Purview or the Great Purview podcast / video, wherever you're watching, listening from, we thank you. And you probably clicked on this because one of the questions you saw hit your heart or made you kind of think about it, or maybe you're looking for answers or X, Y, and Z. And so just so you know, the Great Purview podcast is mostly about just the gray areas of, the things that we go through in our life, being me and my wife. One of those, or some of those things, are Christianity, interracial relationship, blended families, just race relations in general, and you name it, anything gray at some point or some level. Those are the things that we end up talking about, and we're trying to discuss and just kind of figuring out our way through that as believers and just people living this life. And so we thank you for joining us today. And just like always, we are going to jump right into our topic, and I will have my highly fashionable wife.
Stop. You're embarrassing me.
Okay. Talk about the topics today.
So today we're going to keep in line with our Blended Families series. And the topic for today is, I don't like my partner talking to their ex.
Yikes. What do you think this topic, I guess, overall, like, why do you think this is an important topic for just kind of blended families, as we're in the second part of our 1 million episode blended family series? But why do you think this is important?
Well, I think most blended families, when their kids are involved, there's going to be a parent on the other side. So if you have a stepchild, there's going to be a parent most of the time on the other side. Maybe not.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they're not around. Maybe they're incarcerated. Maybe they've passed.
Are deceased, yeah.
So, but I think that this is something that comes up. Yeah, it comes up.
Okay. I guess so. I guess our initial thought is just, I guess we can start just with our experience with that. And so obviously we're talking about blended families. So I am raising we're raising a child, but I'm the stepfather in this scenario. And my wife obviously is the biological mother. And so I guess, I think that those things kind of vary over time. And so I guess, to start, I think our um, experience with it is somewhat different, I think, than some others. Well, I guess I should say the caveat is that I don't know that there is one way to
You
deal
don't
with.
think that there's like, should my partner talk to their ex? You don't think it's yes or no?
No, I don't think it's yes or no. Um, and I can only tell you through where I struggled and just kind of, um, where I can see there being room for potential error and all that other stuff. One of the things that I think that I struggled with coming into it overall was um, just the notion of anytime that you get with someone, like you are not talking to your ex anymore. Like
Well,
that's
I mean, some people I think talk to their ex still.
wh-
But what if their ex is their best friend?
oh my god. I mean, what? What if their ex is their best friend and go be with
Yeah,
your
some
ex?
people. Oh, some
About to have
people
no
are
dang.
friends
About to have
with
me
their
curse three
exes.
minutes outside. How long we been in this? I'm already about to.
Some people are.
Absolutely not.
Okay, I guess that's your opinion.
Well, I mean, okay, God, some people are.
There's something that we watch where somebody's best friend is their ex, and they were like,
You remember? And then she was like sitting all on his lap whenever they.
"Ooh, wait, what?"
You remember? Maybe you talk about something else. I'm talking about
Oh
you.
yes.
And she.
Okay, so there was an episode I watch
Yeah,
a lot of 90 Day Fiance,
a lot of
and
it.
there was I think it was on 90 Day Fiance. It was one of the episodes on there where the guy, he was like, this, I think he was from North Carolina, I think he was from Charlotte, and his ex was a very attractive female that had a daughter that was actually not his biological daughter, and they broke up.
And wasn't he like taking care of her and stuff too?
He was still taking care of the daughter that isn't biologically his, but that was the only father that she ever knew.
I mean, I get that.
And so then he got with another chick in Brazil. I think she was from Brazil or Colombia. And then, yeah, that was his best friend now.
Yeah, and then didn't she like call
Yeah, she was all
like
drama.
on there whenever she was together and was like on his lap whenever she was like whenever he was talking to her?
She took a photo of them together with her on his lap, and he
Just-
sent it to her. There was another show that we watched though where her ex was her best friend. It was on. Actually, I just watched the show. I don't think you even know anything about this show.
Oh, okay.
It's the real estate show,
Oh yeah.
the Hollywood real estate show,
You talking
or
about
Beverly
selling
Hills.
selling sunset?
Selling Sunset, and she's really good friends with her ex from a long time ago. I mean, they only dated like a couple months.
I mean, so do you think? Okay, well, I'll tell my story as far as how I dealt with it and deal with it, because I feel like that's probably what people are. But I also want to kind of just explore that thought. I mean, if you're down with that, just kind of exploring the thoughts of what does it mean to be in, because I feel like there's so many
You're not
rabbit trails.
finishing what you're saying.
Okay,
What does
so-
it mean to be in
Like, what does it mean to be in relationship with your ex? Like, if you're going to be in relationship with your ex, then what does it mean to do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you feel like there should be like a mutual agreement or something like at the beginning?
I think there has to be an understanding on the necessity of that relationship. Like, why do you need to have that relationship?
Well, and I feel like, like for me, I don't know if it was the biggest hurdle, because I feel like, I mean, on some level, it's just obvious. Like, okay, so he's just not gonna talk to his dad ever again.
No, that's I
just
think
like-
what you wanted.
No, I mean, probably at the beginning, but that's not realistic and or fair and or mature, at least for my part. Unless it's a harmful relationship and all that other stuff. I think that, man, this might even end up being a 4-part video or question or whatever podcast, because I feel like there's just so many nuances. The thing that I feel like, so in the last podcast that we did last week, one of the things that I was talking about was just kind of not feeling like love can be shared, and
Love can be shared
between the two parents. Like, it's like you have one mom, you have one dad. Like that is
okay.
what it is. And if you're not in the picture, then you aren't the dad right now. Or you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it was just very black and white to me. Which, like I said, isn't fair and or right. But I also think that's the way that I perceived it, because of the hurt that is involved when you feel like you're having to fight for a position on some level. like where you already have kind of a chip on your shoulder. I mean, again, this is just depending on if you're really trying to be that father in that child's life. Because again, if you're just in the relationship to be with the wife or the person that you're with, um, I mean, your ideals on why or why not they shouldn't be talking, your significant other and the other person should be talking can be completely different than, my reasonings per se. And so for me, it was just more of like, I didn't think that the love can be shared. I didn't think that, I really, like, I don't know. And then I think I also felt like there was potential for emotions and stuff to get wrapped back up into it.
So, okay, I think that's two different things, though. You're talking about love being shared between the child, like the child and you, and the child and their biological parent. Like, you didn't
Mm,
feel like the child could share their love. But that doesn't have anything to do with your partner talking to that other person.
that's true, which is why I said that I think there was twofold. So that was part of it, but the other
Um,
part of it was the fact that I think that sometimes those emotions can slip back in, or even the thoughts of like, well, what would it look like, if we had the family back together, or like, I don't know. It's just I didn't know the extent of what your relationship with your significant other was coming
prior.
into it. You know what I'm saying? And um, I don't know. And I just think that there is just so much room for error in like not assessing it, where it's just like, oh, okay, everything's okay. And I think also some of just the prior hurt that has to deal with dealing with exes and stuff like that prior to even being in a relationship sometimes plays a role to that. And like I said at the beginning, is like a lot of times when you get into a relationship, the expectation is that you've already talked through and worked through those things. And so if your
So you're
partner,
no longer going to talk to your ex anymore because you don't have feelings for them anymore? Is that what you're saying when you say
um,
work through feelings?
I mean, just in general, like it's just they're your ex. You don't communicate with them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. I like you looking at me like you're questioning where I'm
Yeah,
at.
I am. I'm like, so,
So we're not on the
so
same
we're
page.
I'm like,
Like,
do you, right? We got,
no, I agree with you.
okay. I mean, yeah, well, it's not about agreeing with me. I just want to, that's just kind of where I'm at. It's just, I don't know.
I feel like you needed to hear me say I agree with
Right? That's how we feel, correct?
you.
No, yeah, I think that it's a tricky situation, and I think also one of the things that helped me jump through this hurdle as it relates to um is it okay really is more of my trust in you. And so because I think a lot of times or prior to everything, where I was coming from was, what if this person tries to do this and this person tries to, woo you back into their arms, or tries to, whatever, and it becomes something completely not the purpose. Like, in my mind, the purpose of y'all communicating was strictly for the child, not
Mm,
for y'all to have a relationship
outside of it.
outside of it. And I think to some degree there was some unrealisticness to that, because I think on some level you all's relationship determines the level of effectiveness you both can work on together to co-parent. You know
That's true.
you know what I'm
I
saying?
haven't really thought of that, but that's true.
I mean, and so it doesn't do either of you a disservice to like hate each other or be nasty or rude or mean to each
Mhm.
other, or you know what I'm saying. And so I mean, I think that that's a very mature mindset. I was not there. It took me a while to get there because it was very fresh to me, and I knew, and all I saw was I'm in love with this woman, but she's still talking to.
Oh, I've never heard you say I'm in love with this woman.
Well, yeah, I am. Okay, well, yeah, I'm in love with this woman, and I see her talking to um this dude who used to also be in love with her and also gave her a baby. And so so there's that, and then I also think that I was, and so it was kind of working through that. And then I also knew that on my side, it was like I remember like a girl that I talked to like a while ago called and
Yeah, but do we
and
want to talk about what that relationship was?
we don't have to talk. Which relationship are you talking about?
The one that you're talking about.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
I don't think so because it wasn't. Maybe we don't have to get into that. But all I'm saying
Of course
is,
we don't. We're only gonna talk about my stuff. Go ahead.
no, I'm not saying. I mean, okay, go ahead. Whatever. What do you think? What are you thinking?
I just think that whole relationship was just based on some stuff that there was no reason for y'all to talk.
Based on. It was more than that. It was for sure more than that.
Oh, y'all were just like really good friends.
We were good friends. Oh my gosh.
Oh, wait, we're not talking about, I guess I'm not talking about the same person.
No. I'm talking about when I was sitting on the couch and this
Oh,
person
okay,
called.
yeah, no, I know what you're
And
talking
then
about.
I was like, yeah, I can't talk to you no more because I have a girlfriend now.
Well, I think for me, okay, I think the issue is don't act weird. So if you are around somebody that you used to talk to and you're acting real weird around that person, then I think you're giving your partner a reason to be like, is there something I should be concerned about? Like, why are you acting so weird around this person?
Because it's weird. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It was weird. I mean, like, you don't think that's weird? Like, it was weird me meeting your I don't know, baby's father sounds really disrespectful.
Jaden's dad.
Yeah, well, it was different. It was difficult meeting Jaden's dad, and it was awkward and weird and stuff like that. And I don't know that you were
It
like,
wasn't for me. It wasn't awkward or weird for me.
It
I think
wasn't
you
awkward
get
for
you
you?
get weird in those kind of situations.
it wasn't awkward for you. What were you thinking? I was thinking, like, what do you think was going through my head?
All of your insecurities, I think, were going through your head.
Like what? Which ones?
Like, you're not sure if you should like him. You don't want to like him. Then you don't want to like him because of me. You don't want to like him because of Jaden. Because you're like, these are mine now. And I mean, I think it's all those kind of like territorial feelings.
Yeah, I guess that's not wrong.
But I think with anything, you have to have boundaries. So,
Okay.
like, people need to respect boundaries of a relationship. So, I think that if you have a relationship with your ex and that's an important relationship to you, whether it's an important relationship to you because you have a child with them or it's an important relationship to you for some other reason, I don't know, because I can't relate to that. But maybe there is a relationship that's important and it's not about y'all having a relationship anymore.
Or
Maybe
the
you
sex.
Okay, most of your relationship has just been friends and y'all dated for like a month and you were like, okay, that's not our thing. You just thought you liked them because you got along with them. But in reality, you aren't attracted to them. I think that there has to be boundaries around that though, because your partner may feel like it's stepping over some sort of line. Like if they're calling too much or if y'all are talking about stuff that's not relevant to the situation.
Yeah. Well, and I think, because I also think that, there's some people who have had relationships. I mean, and maybe this might be your case, but where, they've had children like earlier in life, like around, before they had ever really got married or anything like that, or, and they just have had a child with this person. They never had any intent of being together or being in a relationship or any of those other things. And so, I mean, on some level, it may have like consider your ex, but it's also just, this is my child's father or this is my child's mother. You know what I'm saying? Like
I mean, I guess. I mean, I think for me, I was 19 when I got pregnant, so I wasn't thinking about marriage at that time. And I mean, it was a relationship that I had. It wasn't a particularly long relationship. It was longer because we had a child together. It wasn't, I think because I was at a certain age and I got pregnant and I had a baby. So now we have a lifelong relationship because we are tethered by a child.
I don't
that
like
we had
these words,
together.
but I hear you.
It sounds like I'm talking like have an
And
entanglement.
now we have a lifelong relationship, and when two things are joined together, no one can separate them.
You're so stupid.
And what God has brought together,
Let no man
let no
separate.
man set asunder.
Anthony.
setting asunder. Like, ugh, Jesus. Okay. I mean, yeah, and so ultimately, I mean, I definitely am in a different. I mean, fast forward, I'm in a different place than I was then, but I definitely can understand and recognize just kind of the emotion behind, or just even the understanding of why people wouldn't want that to happen.
Because nobody wants to deal with that. Nobody wants to deal with that feeling. I couldn't. I mean, I say like all these things like on you to be mature, but could I have done that if you talked to your ex? No, I can't do that. So I'm not good at that. I'm not good at dealing with those types of emotions. And that's probably a reason why you didn't have a child coming in. Because God knew I couldn't handle that.
Oh my
That's not
God.
something I could grow in that quickly. I would have sabotaged the whole relationship.
Oh my
Probably on accident.
Oh my God. Thank you, Lord. Yeah. I mean, and I agree. Yeah, I agree. You would definitely have sabotaged. No, I agree that yeah, it's just difficult. Like it's and it will be. And I think that communication. Like I think one of the biggest things was I felt like it was safe to communicate to you how I felt about it. And I mean, I'm sure at times you got tired of hearing it at some point. But I think you just allowed me the patience and just kind of some of the uh, long suffering on some level to deal with how I was feeling and everything. And then I also realized that I was excluding myself from being a part of that relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Like that relationship doesn't have to just be
Yeah. It doesn't have to be just
y'all
us.
two.
Mm-mm.
Like, and at the risk of not throwing myself in, like, please let me be your friend, but also, you know, like being intentional about like we are one, and you know what I'm saying? And it's okay for you to have, those relationships. But I think it comes back down to uh the number one thing for me. It was just like I just trust my wife. And it's not even that like she had to earn that trust. It's just like I had to make the decision that that's what I'm going to do. And if she um was the word defiles or you know misuses or takes advantage of that trust, then that's for sure I run the risk of that. But I can't not give you trust just for the sake of what could happen. Like if I married you and I'm trusting you with the rest of my life, and
Can I not just
yeah,
trust you
can I
also
not
to have
just
a
trust you to
conversation with
yeah,
somebody?
like, and I mean I trust you with so much more, and sure it runs the risk of me being hurt, but also just you know for me to just protect myself, I don't feel like that's worth trying to get you to not stop talking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, hey, you shouldn't. Well, hey, like I don't talk to my exes, so you let him talk to me. I mean, we tried that. Like that was something that I mean, like
For him to just talk,
yeah,
for him
like
to
like
talk to
whenever we
you.
got married, that the communication goes through me and stuff like. And I feel like on some level that was insecure, but I also think that was irresponsible on some part, just because I don't be like
You're not on top of
following
scheduling and
stuff
like
through, and so it'd be like, oh yeah, he is supposed to go out there tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
Well, I think that there should be responsibility on the biological parent in the relationship. So I felt responsibility to make you comfortable.
mm,
Like I wanted to make sure that I included you in the conversations. I wanted everything to be above board, keep the conversations on speaker. So just so that you could see, because I knew what it was and I
right,
wanted you to see what it was as well.
yeah,
But I think that you also have to know yourself as the biological parent in the relationship. You have to know yourself. And if you feel like you could be tempted any kind of way to have feelings with that ex, then you need to set boundaries for yourself. And
right,
maybe you should only communicate through text, or maybe you should only maybe have your spouse do the communicating, or make sure that you're in the same room to hold you accountable. Because I mean, realistically, that wasn't an issue for me, but realistically that is an issue for some people,
yeah,
that they do still
have feelings
Not
and all of
necessarily feelings, but there is a nostalgia that I think that comes sometimes with exes. And so you have to put up boundaries for yourself. And then for the step parent, I think the step parent has to be honest with their self, and they have to say, why does this conversation right now bother me? What about this conversation is bothering me right now? Is that my own insecurity, or is there something genuinely that I need to be concerned about? And if there is something I need to be concerned about, I'll take that up with my spouse. And if it's something that I'm just feeling insecure, I need to seek some sort of help for that, like go through some
yeah,
therapy or whatever.
yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. I think that you know, self-awareness is a very big part of it, because I feel like when you're not aware of self, then it feels like it's only the other person that is causing you to feel this way, and you don't take a step back to see like why you react. It's like, well, if you don't do that, then I won't do this. But I think that, you know, one thing is like, I can't control what you do, but I can control how I respond to what you do, or at least ask the question why I respond, so that way I can put up, you know, barriers to those parts of me to be able to respond in a way that is healthy and is beneficial to what we're trying to accomplish. But I don't disagree. I think that knowing where you are and who you are is probably one of the biggest parts of, you know, dealing with exes and stuff. So I
Well, in
mean,
relationships, I think,
yeah.
period.
So I mean, like, so what happens if like one of my exes calls and just wants to holler at me, just like to talk to me about their life? Is that okay?
Am I gonna like that?
Is it okay?
I don't really know what that means. Is it okay? Is it okay, like in the grand scheme of life?
Yeah, they just want to like say what's up.
I mean, I guess if they just want to say hi and check on you. But if they want to like start going on lunches and stuff,
So I got no exes out here. We can't go to lunch.
why did you?
Got no exes out here. But yeah. So I mean, that's. I mean, I guess that's. I mean, you tie that up with a bow. I don't really have any more to say on that. I mean, unless you have more to say on it.
I don't know. I mean, I think I like what you said about you having to just trust the other person. And that's hard to say when it makes you feel you don't like the way you're feeling when you have to put your trust into somebody else. I think it's hard to identify that you're not trusting someone.
Oh, that's good.
Because when you're just like, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like you talking to them. And it isn't about trust. It's just, I don't like you talking to them. It doesn't make sense. I don't understand why y'all need to still be talking.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. That's how it felt for me though. Like I didn't understand. Aside, I mean, it was just like our child lives here. He's here. We're taking care of him. There's no formal agreement to like child support or any of that other stuff.
So what? That
So
means
it's
that we
just
never
like,
ever need to communicate
so
ever.
why?
Because he still needs to have a relationship
I'm saying
with
that's
his
how
dad.
I felt.
Well, I'm saying that's the answer.
I mean, yeah, he does. But oh, see, I'm reverting. I feel like I'm reverting backwards. Because I was like, if he has to have a relationship with his dad, then why not just have him have a conversation with his dad? Why do you have to be a part of that conversation?
Because there are some conversations that need to be had between adults raising a child that
like what?
is not healthy to talk about with the child. Like how they're doing in school, like they're acting up at home.
Okay,
like,
you're right.
Like their bedtime is this time. It took me a long time to get him there. Or this is how he's potty training right now, and this is how he's doing.
Oh, you're talking about like as far as them being like out of your care.
Well, I mean, I think you should also just communicate in general about like what's going on with them and like how they're doing.
I'm still learning. I still have a long way to go. Well, the reason I say that is just because I get biased sometimes where it's just like, and this might be another question for another episode, but I get biased sometimes where it's like, you know, if I don't know, like I just don't know. I mean, I guess I can look at it as the same as like sending, you know, your grandparents or like pictures of you in school and saying this, that, and the other. It's just so hard for me sometimes to like identify those
Those needs, like the
Yeah,
needs.
like the needs to do it. I mean, I
Yeah,
get
I
it.
think I think that's because I mean it's easy for me to say because I don't have that like you don't need to in my gut.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just talking from just being objective and I'm just saying that this logically there needs to be conversations in order for there to be the most healthy
Right.
relationship and in order for him to be good whenever he goes out there and like all that. And I think it is like a feeling that is stopping you.
Oh, for
I don't
sure.
think
It's
that
not
it's like
even like
logic.
no. It's I mean on. I think yeah. I think the feeling makes logic. The feeling is like I'm going
No.
to create some logic for you to use, so that way you don't have to feel this way. Uh, Cause yeah, it's hard, man, and
But if you trust the other person, I mean, and that's
yeah, because I mean, what are you like? The thing
what
is
is the
what are you?
concern?
You're right, exactly. That's always what I have to come back to is like why. It's just because it doesn't feel
Because
right.
I
Is
don't
it
like
because
it.
it's territorial? Is it because of you having to share? Is it because you feeling like there's like you're not doing your job as a spouse? Um, you know, any of those things, and so then you feel like, oh well, I could lose this person, and losing the person is trash.
Oh, so you're saying if you feel like I'm not doing a good job, somebody could steal it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or it's like, or even just the history, man. Like if you have history with someone, I mean, like your ex technically already has, on some point, depending on who you are, but like your ex technically has an advantage because they've had the time to get to know you. And so the stuff that I'm learning about you, someone else or your ex may or may not already, I mean, may already know.
Yeah, I think though this is something that I had to learn later in marriage was even if I stop you from doing something, so let's say you could say don't ever talk to him again.
Mm,
Okay, you could do that. But if you think that you're stopping me and that's somehow going to prevent me from ever having feelings or
yeah,
prevent me from
right,
ever doing anything
right.
wrong or prevent me from ever having any infidelity issues, if that issue is an issue for me, that's an issue for me whether you stop me from talking to somebody or not.
I mean,
And
you
so
ain't
that was
wrong.
something that I had to realize is that I can I can stop you from a symptom all day. Like I can
Mm-hmm.
stop you from doing something, but at the end of the day it's a heart issue and if
Yeah.
you're going to want to do it, you're going to want to do it and you're going to find a way to do it whether I want you to or not.
Good or bad.
Yeah.
And so you're absolutely right. And so I think, I guess my thought is just like, for step parents that are faithful and doing what you're doing, my wife doesn't know what it feels like, so I just want
I
to
don't.
speak to y'all. I definitely feel like, man, just keep fighting the fight, and know that the days where you get to see a smile on your child and your spouse and all those, like they add up so much more, and the longer that you do it and kind of persevere through it. I know sometimes it bubble, like I had a bubble up moment right now where stuff just kind of bubbles up, and you just got to kind of remember the purpose of why you're doing it and stuff like that in the first place. And and I think ultimately, I mean, you'll figure it out. And I think also it won't it starts to affect you a lot less as you go. I feel like if you're someone who's been married for years and have been dealing with this, like if you're watching this, you're like, oh man, y'all still got a way to
Yeah.
go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas, if you're brand new to this, it feels like this mess ain't gonna ever end, and like it's going to be like, that way forever. And, I can tell you, at just least from where I'm at right now, that it doesn't, and it gets better, and it does start to feel a little bit of normal, but that's a topic for another time.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else in closing words?
No, not really. I
Any
think you
advice
did
for
well.
biological parents?
I just think, like I said, try to be accommodating because this is something that your spouse is dealing with, your partner is dealing with. That's a hard thing that you're not really having to deal with in the same way. It's hard being put in the middle. That's hard about being the biological parent is that you feel torn between you're trying to do what's best for your child, but you're also trying to keep a happy marriage. And so I think also it isn't going to last forever, and try to be accommodating, keep boundaries, but be realistic with your spouse about your expectations and how to be a good parent, and just work through it, because I don't think that your partner will have the same issues today as they will have,
Yeah.
in a year.
Yeah, that's so true. And so, just you guys work through it together. Teamwork makes the dream work. It does. Well, again, we thank you for tuning in to Great Purview. This is my wife,
Morgan Rogers.
and you can follow her on Instagram at
She's a lawyer.
She's a Lawyer. I wonder if it'll work if I do She's a Lawyer. And then and then you can follow me on Instagram at he is not a lawyer.
What?
You can follow me on Instagram. That's so stupid. At that's not what it says. You can follow me on Instagram at Who is Anthony, and then on Twitter you can follow me at Who is Anthony R. Please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate your subscriptions, but that'll let you know when we're uploading videos. We upload videos every Wednesday. For podcast listeners, same thing. We are putting up the podcast every Wednesday. And so, set your phone, set your reminders, do all those things. We enjoy doing this. We enjoy talking to you. We enjoy seeing your comments. So please comment away. We laugh and joke and have conversations about them all the time. And so literally it's ridiculous. And so keep doing it because we love engaging with you all. But this has been Great Purview. I have been Anthony. This has been my wife, Morgan. We thank you for tuning in to Great Purview. Have a great day.